So welcome back to some more Grand Theft Auto Liberty City stories. In this part, we will be completing the vehicle checkpoint side missions, which are a requirement to complete in order to get your percentage points 100%. And we will begin here in Harwood doing the Scrapyard challenge, which requires you to interact with a dirty Sanchez. You know, reusing jokes and such, which I'll probably keep on doing until the end of time, because you know what? It tickles the fancy to do so. But not literally, I'm just making more jokes there. But either way, you have to use a Sanchez to go through checkpoints that are located all around this scrapyard, junkyard, car crusher area. And you need to get 22 points or more in order to pass this challenge. So the green checkpoints will give you 1 point, the yellow ones will give you 2 points, and the red ones will give you 3 points. So that's how that works. And I'm not a big fan of the way that this specific checkpoint challenge works. I don't know, I've just never been a fan, because it pops up pretty much once per game in these 3D era Grand Theft Auto games. Like in Vice City and San Andreas, you had a mission that's exactly like this, except it takes place in a stadium, because in those two games you had stadium events at the various stadiums in those games. So, you know, stadium, yeah, feels like I'm saying that a lot, but, you know, you have a mission like that in those games, and instead of it taking place in an environment like this, it just takes place in, like, this obstacle course type arena thing, and really the location is irrelevant to me. I just don't like that. You know, you really have to be specific in your movements, and maybe it's just a case of me needing to get good, as some people might say, and, you know, that's probably a part of it, but also you know, I've praised the driving mechanics and whatnot in these games because they're very arcadey and very fun in their own way and all that, but it's just like they're really rough around the edges when it comes to making precise movements, so it's kind of annoying having to do that quite often in these types of challenges. But that's just me. I can definitely see as to why some people would enjoy you know, a mission like this, because it is fun when you are able to actually accomplish getting some of those more difficult to get checkpoints, and sometimes seemingly impossible to get checkpoints. But in the way of positivity for something like this, I do like how in this mission they give you enough time to at least hit that 22 mark. You can see right there, I made 25 points, and you know, right before the timer runs out. And I like that because I made a few mistakes during the you know, attempt at doing this mission. You know, I missed that first checkpoint once, so I had to redo getting it, and then I fell off the bike a bit later, and then I had to make a U-turn at another point, which kind of wasted time there. So you have a couple mistakes going on here, but they're not super anal, and they give you some breathing room to hit that point mark before the time runs out, so I like that quite a bit there. So now we're going to move on to the next vehicle checkpoint mission, which is called Wong Side of the Tracks. And it's a bit of a reference to a previous Grand Theft Auto mission. You know, speaking of San Andreas, there is a mission in that game called Wrong Side of the Tracks, which is a notorious one that has seemed to have given a lot of people some problems in the past. Me, I really don't see it to be that problematic, and I never really have. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I did fail the mission as a kid a couple times, but after a while, you understand the positioning that needs to go on in that mission, and that you need to position yourself into the middle of the tracks that are next to the tracks that hold the train that you're chasing. And that will cause Big Smoke to actually hit his targets because he's at the proper angle when you're in the middle of those tracks. So I don't know, I just really don't feel the same way a lot of people do about that mission, and that it's like super annoying and crazy hard and stuff. And you know, you don't even have to worry about the tracks. You could just go onto a nearby rooftop and then jump onto the train that has all of those you know, enemies that you have to kill that are on top of the train. So you know, you could just get on top with those people and then drive by, shoot them or whatever, and then have Big Smoke also shoot them because they're right there. So there's just a lot of things that, you know, it seems like people tend to make things a bit more difficult than they need to be, but that's just me, and that's life experience speaking for you and all that. But anyways, we're getting a bit too off topic now, talking about San Andreas here, but, you know, for this mission, it is a little annoying at times, but something that helps is that when you're going around these turns and stuff, I like to release the acceleration button and then just kind of tap the brake button, and sometimes do it a bit more rough if I need to, like really slow down around turns. But basically, you just let momentum take over when it comes to going around turns and stuff, so that makes it to where it's not as easy to fall off the sides, and even if you do, you can just kind of force your way back on top. It's not actually as difficult as I thought it was going to be to get back on top of that center position on those tracks, so I don't know. And then of course you have the Wong brothers chasing after you, and you know, to kind of expand on the Wong brothers, which really have no backstory, they're just kind of hanging out on those tracks, I guess, but you know, it's like that's kind of a scary concept to me, because there's this mission in Vice City where where you're doing like this off-road vehicle checkpoint race type thing, and it's on Vice City West, actually, but the northern part, in that little dirt track area, but it's like on the PlayStation 2 version, when you're doing this particular side mission, for whatever reason, it starts raining in-game, and then you also have these Haitians chasing after you on black Sanchez's, and that's, like, it's creepy in a way, because it's like robots chasing you in a way, because you have these AI entities going after you, trying to kill you or whatever, and it's just, it's kind of creepy, especially in that environment, where it's dark and it's raining, and you just have these black Sanchez's just come out of the woodworks with these Haitians, and then, you know, if they crash and get off their Sanchez's, then they'll come after you with, you know, machetes and stuff, so it's a really creepy thing, and I'm kind of reminded of that with the Wong side of the tracks and the Wong brothers and all that, but anyways, we've moved on to the final, the final vehicle checkpoint mission now with Go Faggio, which is a pretty cool checkpoint mission. See, I like this, where you're going around almost like a race track type thing. Like, it's kind of a makeshift track that's made up of these checkpoints, which for some reason don't necessarily disappear when you collect them, so it's kind of confusing. Like, you kind of wonder, did I pick that up over there? But it's just the game kind of glitching out, I guess, because as you can see, we still have some checkpoints that are popped up around here, but we've still passed the missions, so I don't know what the hell is up with that. You know, it's just a little graphical glitch there, but overall, that's one of those checkpoint missions I like, not one of those get X amount of points in this amount of time or whatever. You know, I like what's going on here, and I also like Wong's side of the tracks. Despite the scary concepts surrounding it, you know, it's a fun time, I think. But anyways, that completes this part. In the next part, we will be doing something that we've already done before, but we must do again in a side mission format, and that is Carmageddon. So, until then, I will see you next time.